Great. So now you really understand everything about Compass Navigator PC software. What is the system? About the iOS app software. So you really know it all so far, except for the hardware. And so we're going to take a quick look there as well. Starting with our KD MC1000. Well, MC1000 is the only master controller of the Compass control system with a little bit of intelligence to it. Again, the iPad is the brain for us. So, you don't need that much intelligence in the controller. But the MC1000 has it because it can support scheduling as well. That is why I lead with the master controller MC1000. So this device has, so of course, just like Compass Control, it is LAN-based. It plugs in, it lives on your network. There's these front indicator LEDs that are very useful, including these 6 I/O lights. Anytime a command goes through I/O port 1 through 6, the respective LED light will blink. It's actually activated by voltage. So it's a great troubleshoot as far as, hey, I'm not controlling this device. Well, let me make sure this LED is at least blinking, because that would indicate that the command is going through. Maybe the command's not proper if the device isn't controlling, or maybe it's a wiring issue down line. We have the USB port in the front there that you plug in. That's where you set the IP address, load firmware, etc. There's also on the front a built-in IR learner. Hold your remote about 6 inches or 4 to 6 inches away from that, and you could capture IR codes if it's a device remote that we don't have in our system yet. We show you how to do that in the C2 videos. The 6 multifunction ports, very, very flexible. Show you about those in a moment. One port here that is a dedicated RS-232 port, and a 3-pin relay if you need to control like a screen with normally open or normally closed positioning. But those 6 I/O ports, very important. They're very flexible. They could be set as IR output, as bidirectional RS-232. They could be a voltage trigger to just control a device that needs voltage present to maybe make the screen drop, for example, or not present to make the screen lift back up. And it could also be a sensor for voltage, composite video, or PCM digital audio. So if you have an application where, hey, when the projector turns on, it's going to send voltage backward into the MC1000, so then we could execute a few other events to happen. You would do that by having the MC1000 set up as a sensor. Wanted to show you real quick with the built-in IR learner what that capture looks like. It's very nice when you are in the IR database manager and you begin learning your IR codes. You even see this visualization of the IR burst, which is just really excellent as far as making sure that things look uniform and you're working with a capture that is that looks reliable, right? Now we move on to our CX800. So the CX800 is a smaller 3-port controller. I really like this one. It's very, very flexible and compact. So you could kind of, with the MC1000, you almost envision that in your racks, but the CX800 can be in the rack or located, decentralized, right? Take it away from the rack. Especially because it's PoE powered as well, and it has that second LAN port. So if you only had one network cable to a specific zone or area, you could feed it into this and then connect your next device that requires IP control into the LAN 2 port. It acts as a 2-port switch. So again, the front indicator LEDs that work the same way as I just described with the MC1000. It is a 12-volt power. So I tell you that why? Because the MC1000 is 5-volt power. So the IR is maxed out at 5 volts, but not the CX800. You do have adjustable voltage that starts at 5 and then works its way up. The CX800 is also pretty flexible as far as we use it for other purposes at KeyDigital as well. It has an open API, so you can talk to it from your third-party control system, and you can send an IP string that will then convert to IR RS-232. We also use it as a AV over IP control interface. So your third-party control system could speak to this device, and then it will send commands to the respective encoders, decoders, transmitters, receivers to adjust the video routing. But that's not of importance here in the compass control discussion. But you may notice in the 4K AV over IP, here, I guess that is our segue, isn't it? Speaking of AV over IP, is that we do build essentially what is a CX800 into all of our 4K AV over IP products. So here we have the 822, which only has 2 I/O ports, the 922 and the 1022 that have 3 I/O ports. And so we showed this example early in the C1 course here, where, you know, if you're going to be specifying an AV over IP system, and considering KeyDigital here, you're going to have, you know, 1 encoder per video source, 1 decoder per video display. So here we see a 10 by 15 AV over IP system. And if you got 922s, that's 25 times 3, 25 devices times 3 I/O ports. That's a 75 port control system that's already there for you to leverage by utilizing Compass Control Pro. And so, and beautiful thing is you're going to have your encoders in your rack most likely. So you're going to have a good amount of control ports there, plus decoders out and about throughout the whole system, or the whole job site rather. So you're going to have control ports just everywhere for your taking. And when you leverage it, it really makes KeyDigital the most cost-effective 4K AV over IP system in the market. So it's very, very powerful that way. And all of these systems, as I mentioned earlier, we set them up with the KeyDigital Master Control Device Manager. Or now, in the last few years, we've really standardized where we just have a single setup software that is the KeyDigital Management Software Pro. Download that from our website, KDMS Pro as it's called. You can connect the USB or connect over the network, connect the USB and hit the scan for the device, set the IP address, set the name if you're going to have multiple master controllers, MC1, MC2, MC3, or MC encoder 1, MC encoder 2, encoder 3, etc. Set the names, update the firmware if you need. It's all very quick, very, very well done in the KeyDigital management software. And that really gives you everything you need to know about Compass Control Pro. Thanks for attending the C1 certification course.